What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you can actually hear what I'm saying. My buddy's grinding on his car right now, but I gotta get the video done, and I gotta get started on some work. So, alright, I'll just come inside so I can talk for a second. Anyway, so that hunk of junk behind me, that was my Subaru RS, and I am currently building that to run at Stage Rally, which if you've watched my videos before, you've heard me say this quite a few times, probably like, shut up, just get to the video. But yeah, that's currently what I'm doing. My buddy Brandon, he's building an S13 cage right now for his own drift car, so FD spec cage, whatnot. I'll show a little bit of it. It's slowly moving along. He's got like the main hoop done, front laterals, windshield bar. He added a roof bar because it's not required, and I think rear stays and like a strut brace in the rear. Anyway, mine, if you haven't watched the last video, the cage has been fully welded in. So the only thing that I actually have left to finish the cage off would be door bars and then gussets for everything and the A-pillar bar. So it's pretty much almost done, but I have to knock out seat mounts today. Oh yeah, and harness bars too. I gotta do those. Anyway, gotta do seat mounts today because I need to be able to figure out exactly where the seats are gonna go before I do the A-pillar bars, before I do the door bars, definitely before I do the harness bars, because you have to align the harness bars to a certain angle. That way when the driver's in there, the harness is at a certain layback to where that it's actually legal and in the safest way possible that it can be. So it'll be fun coming out with seat mounts. I do have side mounts from OMP for the seats already. I just don't have brackets obviously to mount them to, because I removed the stock seat mounts in the car a long time ago. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna try to make some low profile mounts for the seats to actually bolt to. All right, so first step, I'm going to pull these brackets out, throw them onto the seat, and that way I can actually see exactly how they're gonna sit. Then grab some wood and kind of position it exactly where I want it, or roughly, because I do have some adjustment, so I don't have to worry about it too much. I can move it front and back like an inch and side to side if I need to like change the angle of them at all, as well as the layback. So I get quite a bit of adjustment on layback, so that's good. So yeah, just throw these on there and start figuring out where we're gonna put them. Yeah, I think this is good. I'm gonna mark the height, get measurements for the height, and kind of mark it and whatnot, and I'll start coming up with brackets. But I mean, I think it's fine. I got enough clearance, so hopefully with padding, these roof bars won't be too close because they are a little low. Would have liked them a little bit higher, but nothing I can do about it now unless I want to cut them out. I'm not doing that. I also see why people would go farther inboard with them instead of going to that joint on the next cage. I would probably do that because that's going to give you a whole lot more room to work with for your head, so that would be a lot better. Definitely, I mean, if you had an X, it wouldn't matter anyway because it's going to go over your head no matter what, but with the V, if you go the other way, you would definitely get a little bit more headroom, or if you do the opposite V, you'd probably get more headroom too. So I'm going to mark these, kind of like get the height, get all the measurements and whatnot, and come up with the mount. So yeah, I got to cut up all that material too that I'm going to use for it. So ignore the childish writing all over the car. I have all the plates made so far, and these are like my marks that I kind of understand, but I do have all the measurements too, and it's going to be rough as I go, move it around. So I need to hammer out the transmission tunnels, try to flatten this out a little bit because that's like right where the bar needs to go. Same with over here, just a little bit. I don't want to do it too much, that way I'm like impeding the drive shaft or anything like that. So hammer out that, and then got to grind down some of these stitch welds that I've got going on here so I can weld a plate flat up against the rocker panel. And I massage all these plates off the camera because nobody wants to just watch me like hammer in my transmission tunnel. Slowly get these plates to work. So I tested them again to see if they made sense with the seat position and whatnot. They did. So I think these are good for where they're at right now. So yeah, I burned through right there. That looks pretty bad. Anyway, these should be good. Now I could get the distance between the two for the bracket that's actually going to go across, or the beam that's going to go across. And once I get that, then I need to mark exactly where to put the holes for the actual weld nuts to go on the backside. And then once I do that, stick them on the backside, put in exactly where they're going to go in here. Yeah, it's going to be a slow, tedious process. Alright, both brackets are in right now. Well, they're just sitting there. This one's being held up by this square tube. Yeah, so this is what I'm actually going to use. It's just U-channel. So it's 2" by 1" long, 1/8" thick. Plenty enough material and strong enough for what they're going to be. So I'm just going to go through the top and weld a weld nut on the back. And that'll suffice. Now I just got to play with them and get them in the right location, get them to the right height, and then tack them in and weld them fully. Wow, I'm an idiot. That would be why it didn't work when I was trying to level it. I put the stupid things in the wrong holes. Oh my gosh, I would get these things perfectly level and it wouldn't work. It would bounce back and forth. I'm like, I don't know, I must be going crazy or something. That one's in a hole up, that one's in a hole down. So original plan is still gonna work. The mic's facing away from me right now, so you probably can't even hear me. I'm just way out of it right now. So I'm still gonna pull these off and put holes in this. Okay, I am finally happy with the fitment. Everything's good with it, so I'm going to mark exactly where it is on the plates, pull these things out, and then weld the nuts onto the back. Once I've welded onto the back, I'm going to throw some paint on there too, just so it doesn't rust, because I'm not really going to be able to get underneath it, so I need to clean them up anyway, run a wire wheel over it and whatnot, clean up all the surface rust that's on it. And then tack these in, and I'll probably weld them in tomorrow. those are welded on, and I painted the back with some weld through primer after they were cleaned up, so don't have to worry about rust on the underside, because once those are welded in, there's probably no way that I can get primer in there again. I mean, I guess I could like shove the nozzle up there, but even then, not really worth it. So now it's got a decent coating and I can weld through it once I actually go to weld them to the car, so that's good. I'm gonna let those dry overnight because it's cold, even though it is primer and that stuff welds dries really quick. So yeah, I'll let that dry overnight. I'm about done anyway. I don't know why, but this is taking me way too long. I stopped and went and got dinner and whatnot too, so yeah, just wasting the day away. Got like halfway done on the driver's side and still got to do the passenger side, which the passenger side is going to be way easier because of the fact that it's not really that important where the seat goes. So it's going to go kind of like far and low as possible, so as far back and as low as possible to keep the weight kind of near the back, because these cars are already nose heavy. But I'm gonna stop rambling. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. Don't mind the loud noises. Brandon's working on his cage right now. Anyway, I didn't realize my memory card was about full, so you didn't see any of what I did. All I did was I threw the bars in, lined them up with the marks that I put in there, and then tacked them into place, one on each side, and then threw the seat on there. So the seat fits. Obviously, it's not bolted in firmly right now. That's why it moves around. But I fit in there really well. I just got to make sure that my helmet still clears, which the seat does have a lot of adjustment, like I was saying, with these brackets, so it can drop down about another inch in case it can't clear, and it can also raise up quite a bit too. So that's one thing that's good about these brackets, is I get a lot of adjustability, and I can go to like a more adjustable bracket in the future if I want to, or make my own depending on what I want to do. So if I want to make one that sits a little farther forward, I can do that. But these are pretty good. I think I'm actually set to weld in the plates fully and then weld in the beams going across completely too. So this is like the only iffy thing about the seat. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this is pretty close to the window. I don't really remember where the window goes, but I think it goes like up here. So I think it should be fine. It doesn't look like it protrudes from the car. It probably does on film, but you can see it disappears like right there. So it should be fine. But other than that, it all fits pretty good. Follows the transmission tunnel pretty close. And when I'm sitting in the car, my knee is bent just like a little bit when the clutch is fully pushed in, so that's good. It lines up perfectly with the steering wheel, and I can adjust that too because I am building the bracket. So all that's good. So I'm going to start welding these in now. Now this seat, like I said, I'm not very concerned with the placement. Obviously I don't want it like super awkward or uncomfortable or like far forward or anything like that. So I'm gonna try to get as far back as possible and keep it as low as possible too. That way they have plenty of room away from the roll bar. They don't have to worry about seeing over the hood or anything like that, as long as they can generally see out the window. I mean, that's good. So yeah, as low and as far back as possible. Try to keep weight low and whatnot. So obviously I don't want my wife, who's my primary co-driver, gonna be like super uncomfortable or whatever based on like where I put it. So that's gonna be a factor too. But it should be fine, plenty of room wherever I put it. So I'm gonna try to do this in a really quick way and just kind of mark where the plates need to go right now based off where I get the seat, because I don't want the seat too far back to where I can't make a harness bar for it. So once I get it in the rough position that it's gonna go, I'm just gonna mark where the bolt holes are, and that's gonna be the center of my plate. Tack those plates in real quick because I already have them cut out, and then make beams after I get the measurements, and then put the weld nuts on there and tack those into place, and we should be good. My position looks good. Obviously it's going to be a little bit higher. Once I add these brackets, it'll probably be like 2-3 inches higher, so it won't be so awkward and your legs won't be so extended. So it'll probably be more like here. But it looks pretty comfortable. I'm going to use this time to eat what just showed up, since my pizza's here. All the passenger side plates are welded in right now completely, so hopefully I got them in the right spot. If not, then oh well, right? No, they should be good where they're at. There was a lot of colorful language used while welding these on. These burn through like crazy. The transmission tunnel is crazy thin. I don't know, especially like right here with all the bends. I expected that to be a little thicker, but no, those were probably the worst. This side didn't turn out that bad, as you can see. But anyway, they're fully welded in. So I'll pick this up tomorrow because it's getting late and I don't want to start using that chop saw late at night. Alright, I'm going to finally get the seat mounts done today. And yes, I'm wearing the same clothes. I washed them, I promise. Shut up. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to finally get the seat mounts done. Just got to get the bars cut, measure them, and then put the weld nuts in there. And from there, weld them in, hopefully. We'll see. And they're good enough, so I'm going to throw them in the car now. Finally done with the seat mounts. That was only about 3 days of work. Granted, I am doing it after I get off of work for just a couple hours every night, but it definitely took me a lot longer because I was kind of dragging ass on it. So that was an issue. I just came out here like I haven't felt like working yesterday. It was like 28 degrees in my garage and I really didn't feel like working on it, so I barely got anything done. And I didn't really feel like getting anything done when I first got here, so finally got it done though. And extra adjustability on this side. Probably just should fill that in and grind it down so you can't see it, but whatever. I think it's good. I'm going to throw the seat in here just to test fit it one last time. I'll show you guys the welds since I had requests to see my welds so they can call me out and tell me how bad my welds are. But so I'll show them real quick and then I'll throw the seat in here. Well, there you go. Nice
close up of some ugly MIG welds. I mean, they're not too bad, but this is easy. 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch is pretty easy. This, on the other hand, this ugly stuff. Sheet metal, I suck at, like I already said earlier in the video, but yeah, these came out good. It's really nice to just do nice, simple, easy MIG welds that I can actually get in a good position and get a good bead and pattern going. But yeah, they came out pretty good for just kind of whipping them out. But like I said, I'm gonna throw the seat in here, test it, make sure everything's good, which if it's not, then I'm just gonna like burn the car down to the ground because I don't want to cut those out. Pretty good. Definitely am going to make a footrest for this because if you sit like this, it'll probably be pretty uncomfortable after a while, so I'll make a little footrest, figure out exactly where my wife wants it. That'll be later, obviously, once I actually start making interior modifications and figuring out exactly like how I want the car set up. Probably make it kind of looking cool, like a normal foot box that they make with a bunch of dimple dies and stuff like that, but obviously I'm gonna make it and it probably won't look as good, but give it a go old college try, right? But happy with the seat mounts. Took a lot of work. I think the fitment's good. There's plenty of room. This seat can drop another like 1.5 inches at least, just with these brackets too. So there's plenty of clearance over here, and it's a lot farther back than mine, a good like 4 inches back, so that's nice. Kind of move the weight back a little bit. Not that my wife weighs much at all compared to me. There's a big difference, so maybe I should add some extra weight on this side of the car. I'll probably relocate the battery onto the co-driver side to try to help off balance some of that, but yeah, maybe I should go on a diet. That'd probably help. But yeah, anyway, that's all I got. Like I said, I appreciate you guys watching my videos, whatnot, but oh, I have a question for some of you guys. If you actually make it this long, probably no one, so maybe in another video I'll actually ask a little earlier. But like, what kind of music do you guys listen to while you're working on cars? So I'm looking for more recommendations. I listen to quite a large variety of music while I'm working on it, but
powering off.
As you can hear, that was my radio turning off just then. But shoot me your suggestions in the comment box and let me know what you guys actually listen to. But yeah, like I said, that's all I got. You guys have a good one.